There are conversations that shape how we live. Conversations that help us navigate challenges of life. Conversations that bring out the best in us. This is where we gather to help each other find the way and unleash our potential. Welcome to the Benjamin Zulu Global.
Psychologist, relationship coach, the one, the only
Benjamin Zulu.
Benjamin Zulu himself.
Do you ever wonder what best you can do to keep your man with you, always loving you and the spark still going on? Now, today we are looking at a topic that says, that thing that you can do to make your man stick by you. An interesting topic for sure. Welcome to Benjamin Zulu Global Show. My name is Sylvia Keremi and I know this topic is going to be interesting and enlightening. Welcome. Now, what can we do?
Yes. And we are discussing some of these things that I want you to know. They are going to make you unique and stand out, not particularly because they are hard to do, but because they are rare to find.
Okay.
There are some things among women as a group that will surprise you, because society has painted women a certain way, like they are soft and cooperative, they want marriage, they want stability, they're genuine.
Yes.
And that is what is painted out there in the dialogues.
True.
But I tell you the truth, what I'll tell you today, it's down under. If you thought I'll tell you something that's very hard to reach upwards.
Definitely.
Yes. But surprisingly, from the world of gentlemen, men who are looking for seriousness and marriage and long lasting and commitment, it is so hard to find a woman to do that with. When you thought after you prepare to be the dream husband, you will find many dream wives.
Yes.
That's what you expect.
Yeah.
That it will not be hard, because after all, we're told he's the boy child who has failed, he's deadbeat, he's the man, these sons of Nebuchadnezzar, the names being called.
Yes.
It has been meant to look like it's harder to find a good man than a good woman.
Yeah.
But I tell you the truth, once you get to the ground, as you get to people, talk to the group, particularly to women as a group, you are shocked.
Yeah.
You'll be shocked. And let me tell you that the first quality that will make the man stick with you is that when you can keep up with him, it's a simple thing, is that he can talk to you, that you can take correction, that you can think with him, that you don't wrestle him when he's telling you a simple thing you can work on, you can improve. That he can actually talk to you without consequences. That he can actually communicate feedback without being clapped back, because women are specialists in clapping back. They keep screenshots and memories of what to get you back with the moment you try to corner them on something. Obviously, we are not saying all women, we are saying the general trend. And what will make you stand out is when you swallow your ego enough to accept bad and negative feedback and say, for example, a simple thing like you keep him, you standing up. You keep him waiting on a date. You think that's a simple thing. Let me introduce you to women. We were to meet at 8, you keep me.
I come at 10.
And then, what does a normal person do when they are late? I'm sorry I kept you waiting. No, what do women do? Oh, that taxi is the traffic. Imagine that this person or that worker. So they want you to join them cursing whoever.
Blame someone else.
While it's a simple owning up would just remove the tension and soothe the one you have hurt by disorganizing them. Mature women think this is simple because they're used to doing it. The few women who are being journeying on self-acceptance are minority, but they don't know it. It's a small minority of women. I write articles a lot and touching both genders. When we address women, my friend, they specialize on clapping back. Refusing to sit with the feedback. Doesn't it also apply to men? Why also? Every day is what women should do. What will you talk to men when you ever talk to men? This time, it applies to both. Me, I see it. It's not specific.
They want everything to be in tandem with men.
And I'm always asking them, so it's impossible for you to just sit down and take a lesson?
It's not easy.
The other day I revealed some things. I was telling them what gentlemen look at when they notice a beautiful woman. A naive man will run after the beautiful woman to try and get her into his life.
Yeah.
But gentlemen know better. Gentlemen are high value men. Men who have worked on themselves. When I say high value, it just means self-added value. I don't mean some people are born this way. No.
Yes.
I mean what you have done to make yourself a better person, prepared husband, prepared wife. I mean, if you're a man, the things you have done to make yourself a leader, dependable, to secure, safe, to love, those are the things that make you high value. Yeah. Actually, is the capacity you have worked on. So those kind of men, they don't run after a beautiful woman. And I was telling them that when a gentleman notices a beautiful woman, he checks whether this woman can keep up with him in two things. Because almost all men, they won't tell you because they also don't want to be stoned. Women specialize in throwing stones.
Yes.
And I told you, by the way, for example, in case you doubt it, everybody knows that single women are a sensitive group, and single mothers, sensitive group, and you must not talk about them anyhow.
Yes.
They'll crucify you.
Yeah.
Which group of that is equivalent for men?
There's none.
Thank you.
Yeah.
There's no sensitive group among men.
Yeah.
Men don't know how to quarrel as a group. We're not saying they are not toxic men and they are not healthy women. We're just saying as groups.
As groups.
When they cluster together, single mothers are feared. Most teachers just either join them or keep quiet.
Yeah.
So, single fathers are not sensitive.
Yeah.
In fact, people keep saying baby daddy, and there's no group like that among men. There's no group that identifies itself as baby daddies.
Yeah.
It's not an identity. You didn't talk and a group rises to fight you. No. There's a simplicity with men that society does not want to admit.
True.
There's a simplicity. I think it's because of our ranking in jobs. We have seniority, lawyers who say senior counsel. There's a ranking in the world of men that tends to accept seniority and order. This man who brought his son to the military, and then the son climbed faster than him, and then he needed to salute to the son. And the son was uncomfortable. I said, Dad, you are, in work, in the job, you are my senior. So when they go home, he is the son. When they go, he is the senior. So I think men, there's something about their job that introduces them to submitting to authority and arranging themselves and being comfortable with order. We are saying, the one thing this gentleman will check is whether this woman has emotional stability, because a lot of women are volatile. They are fragile, like a grenade. Remember, people are fragile in two ways, either like a bomb or like an egg. So most women are fragile like an egg. And I saw this circulating, a clip I came across, that this woman was yelling and cussing at the man at an airport waiting bay. It's a place full of people. She's calling me a loser, screaming at him. And what was the mistake he did? That he rushed them to the airport. He came driving too quickly to the airport. And they ended up having to wait at the waiting bay. Airports give you a check-in time that's always ahead, isn't it?
Yes.
And the guy was just keeping it cool there, and it was just embarrassing. She even turned around to notice the person was recording and cursed him as well. Was recording the clip.
Yes.
To say, most men have witnessed how a man can be victimized by an emotionally volatile woman. So whenever they notice a beautiful woman, they check whether she's emotionally stable, how she behaves when she's angry. Every enlightened man wants to see a woman when she's upset before he can dare risk his life. There was a first lady who would get upset with a media station and appear there to pluck out cables and cause a fight. In the face of all the cameras, and the next day is a whole embarrassment. It's a media house full of cameras, and they look for scandals to trend. Now you bring the scandals to there.
You bring news home.
So that emotional explosiveness, you have slapped an official in a public meeting, you have done this, you've plucked out the hair of some girl somewhere, you've caused a scene. That is the man's worst nightmare.
Sure.
And a woman is unhinged, easily triggered, who goes off on a tangent, who loses herself. is completely nightmarish experience, embarrassing, publicly humiliating, takes away his reputation, makes him be despised. At the same time, he also knows once he has settled for marriage, he doesn't easily get out. Gentlemen don't easily get out. Gentlemen don't easily get out. They come with their awe, and particularly after you get their children, they will die trying to be there for the children.
Wow.
Gentlemen care too much. And they are deeply emotional. This is what they won't tell you. Let me reveal it to you quickly and move on.
They are?
Yes, because it's perceived as if men are not emotional. Gentlemen feel so deeply. If you want to study one gentleman, go read the writings of David. A real high-value gentleman. High value. And what do you see him writing? He expresses feelings, and when he is overwhelmed with enemies chasing after him, when he is confused, he expresses. That's the most expressive man you come across. Yeah. And then he's commented by someone else as carrying the heart of his creator. Apparently, God also feels deeply, cares deeply. Yes. That's the heart of David. That God commented that even when his son was rebelling against him, he still didn't wish to kill him. Even when he's facing, he still cares as a father. And sometimes the empathy of a gentleman can work against him. That he's so empathetic until he's empathetic towards the enemies, you know.
Yes.
But just to tell you that, gentlemen can't stand being scolded, screamed at. And one thing they do, and that you're going to keep him, is when he knows you are emotionally possible to get along with. You keep up with him. You are in tandem with him. You can give him feedback without making it a crisis. Yeah. He can easily communicate something that's uncomfortable without a clap back and a storm. There are men who must really... This man who came home and tasted too much salt in the food commented that there was too much salt in the food, and he was punished for weeks to come home and put the salt himself, because he's the one who knows how to put the salt. For daring
he has
to
no
say
room to
there's too
express.
much. If you cannot say a factual thing like salt, because many of us is subjective. Somebody likes more salt. And couples, marriage teaches you personal differences. That you like more sugar, they like less sugar. You like more salt, they like less salt. And there are couples who can't eat together because of the speed at which they eat. For a long time, they try to share food with my wife like normal couples, you know. And I try to really, you know, do what I see couples doing, sharing plate. Yes. But it always ended up badly because you want to eat, and then you scoop it, and that time it's gone. I don't know what happened. So... and then the plate is too hot. You know, you're supposed to eat normally, and the food is growing. Yes. Surely, if you finish the food and the plate
is still hot.
So I noticed some of these personal differences.
Some speed.
They're too sensitive. So just avoid. So sometimes marriage teaches you a few things. So if this person doesn't sense the food is hot. You know, I think in our defense, those of us who eat like that, we are just focused. We go straight to the point. You do one thing at a time. You know? Yes. And then we wonder, why are people scooping, then waiting in the middle, then another one? Why are you pretending? Just... you are eating. You know, for food. Sometimes you go to a hotel and they give you 10 cutleries. Funny things there. There's a knife here looking, there's another fork close, and you're wondering, it's food here, and that's food. They even remind you there's something you put here to avoid, I don't know. You know, I think the personality differences are factored in. When a man is discussing who he can get along with and the correction he can give you, some of them are not personal. It's personality. It's just, you will try to correct people's sleeping habits. Sleeping habits. Yes. Now you quarrel him for the way he slept, and he was not conscious.
And he's been sleeping like that for years.
You know, children are funny. My friend noticed that his child is starting to mimic everything in the house. So she's now mimicking snoring because she had somebody snoring. And now she's mimicking when she's playing. She doesn't know you're supposed to produce that.
Yes, when you're sleeping.
And you know, they're not aware. Yes. So you hear a little thing there mimicking you as they play. What do you do? There could be visitors. Now it's embarrassing.
Definitely, she's learned that from somewhere.
You know, they reach a point and they surprise you at the point which they learn. Because last time you checked, they were not that conscious.
Yeah.
Now they have another consciousness. Now they have another ability.
Yes.
Last time you checked, they were not moving around. They have learned to crawl the last 2 days.
Yes.
And it has surprised you.
Yeah.
They disappear from the room. You left the child here. You panic.
Yes.
Because why the little thing? Because they've learned to crawl. So then you find you there in panic mode. Find that they have gone to a corner and they have found something interesting they are playing with. Because when they keep quiet, it's usually for mischief. They usually don't keep quiet. If they keep quiet, it's something funny. They discover.
Yes.
So I just want you to know, these men want to know, all factors held constant, I might be wrong, it may be just personality differences. Am I safe as a man to say, I think we should do this another thing different. I prefer it when you do. I prefer this. Can he adjust things and lead? Can you keep up with him as the leader of the family? Or will you cause internal opposition? Men don't want to marry official opposition because sometimes you marry and the one you have enthralled, you have sworn in internal opposition. When there's internal opposition, there will be contention.
Yes.
Contention. And many families don't move forward. I don't want to encourage men to avoid going home. They should sort issues and marry, right, and adjust their families until there's unity. But I tell you the truth, sometimes men are avoiding home because of what the climate there.
Yes.
Because the woman has piled up 5 mistakes, and when you come, she's going to quarrel until bedtime. Particularly when they know there's something that is due. You know, we said sometimes when people know they owe you an apology, they start quarreling you instead. They start accusing you of other things when they owe you.
An apology, they become the victim.
You know. So I just want you to know that if you become that woman whom your man can talk to, communicate without consequences. That does not seem up there. But given the current trend of narcissism, emotional volatility among women, and the feminist pumping it into women's heads, you should hear them and you'll be wondering, are you for real? Are you for real? A woman there and a group said they're going to take pictures of women's breasts, and they call the project Bare Breasts. Bare Breasts Project. And they are going to actually take photos of real women naked to remove shame around women's bodies.
Oh, really?
You're looking for a deeper reason.
Really?
It's not even a cancer screening or anything.
Yeah.
It's just to show breasts come in different sizes and shapes.
And the world should accept that.
Yes, and now they're trying to splash that. And I asked, are you going to put the faces? Apparently, no, they were cutting off the faces. I'm saying, if you're bold enough to bring nudity to our sons, to normalize pornography, if you're bold enough to put lust and to actually sweep away the few young men who are trying to stand.
True.
You should put your faces there so you know who we are talking, who we are dealing with.
Yes.
And they went ahead and took the photo. They're looking for volunteers to come and remove their clothes. Get their photos taken.
Yeah, that's sad.
If it was a man also doing the bare body project for men, I'm trying to show you how toxic women are.
Yes.
And how nobody reacts. Actually, in that airport clip where the woman was screaming and yelling and harassing, emotionally abusing the man, nobody came to the rescue of the man. Not one. The farthest anybody did was to record.
To worsen it.
Nobody
came
to. What if it was a man doing that?
Oh,
the world airport security.
Yes.
If it's a man trying to promote a pornographic project publicly, go to girls' schools and see how many. Can you ask a few people about the women who went to girls' schools and the abuse they underwent, particularly under female leadership, lady principals and all that? The things they did that were so inhuman. Not all, but it happens. But it's not spoken of.
Yeah.
Because it's being done by a woman. Nobody investigates.
True.
Nobody even does. But men are already suspects. Huh?
Yeah.
Pedophile,
Yes.
The kind of abuse, women are openly toxic, but society worships the mother. The image of the mother is idealized. The earth is called she. The sea is a she. Your country is a she. The ship that carries you in the ocean is a she. We really associate life-giving with she.
Yeah.
So the mother, the energy, is to be worshipped. And we have many monuments of Mother Mary and the baby Jesus. So we see Mother Mary above God.
Yeah.
The mother of God. So we see. So the image of a mother in society is so dominant. It's very hard to fight with it. Very hard to fight with it. And when they want a voice that is quiet and calming, they use a woman's voice in your phone. Yeah. When the person is off, it's a woman tells you the person is off. They use increasingly more and more female voices to signify safety,
peace.
So in our subconscious, we can hardly question. So that's why men are isolated. When they know a woman can be dangerous, but there's no validation, nobody will agree with him.
Yeah.
Men are not allowed to say, my wife is abusing me. What kind of a man are you? Control your home.
They'll think he's weak.
Control your home.
Yes.
How can you complain about your subject?
Yeah.
Who is under you?
He's not supposed to complain.
So, for that reason, gentlemen quietly know their power is only at the selection point. So if you're a woman who can keep up with your husband and not complicate his life, he'll get addicted to you. Just learn to be emotionally stable, swallow your ego, listen to feedback. Men also have cravings. Yeah. They're just not hormonal.
Okay.
But I can just suddenly start craving a certain meal. So it's not foreign to us, we know that.
Yes.
But for women, sometimes it's like, and you can get upset and angry with a man and quarrel him and because he did not respond quickly when your craving struck.
Yeah.
He did not really act and sometimes I don't get the urgency.
Yeah.
You're normally asking me to bring things and you don't write. I didn't get the whole picture. Or maybe I'm not able.
Yeah.
Men are calculators and they can see what other men are suffering. And because they're being spared that in their own home, they will respect you for that. The second thing is that when you're a woman of peace means it's not so much relational to us. It's the way you exist.
Okay.
The way you have accepted your body, your life, your beauty, the money situation, where we are, the journey we are on, how you have accepted. If a man has to always calm your insecurities, reassure you, pop you up, pick you up again after you have sunk into depression and regrets and regression, if a man has to still babysit your feelings again and put you back together and after you've fallen apart over small triggers,
it's tedious.
It's tiresome.
Yeah.
It's tiresome. A woman was finally collected herself and accepted the journey she's on.
Yeah.
That woman is a treasure. Most women, when they walk around, they look beautiful, but internally they're falling apart. They don't trust themselves. They don't believe in themselves. They don't think they're enough for you. They have to keep asking, do you still love me? You have not told me today. Hey, have you found someone else? They really have to accuse you every day.
Insecurities.
And I think, like, I don't know, but I don't say that word every day. Although I feel it every day. I feel the love, I appreciate it.
Yes.
But I cannot mechanically say it every day. There are women who need that every day. Who need that kind of propping every day. And it's mentally draining.
Yeah.
We know it's needed, but it can't just be coming from the skies. When a woman has found self-love, when a woman has found her anchoring, and you give her no reasons to doubt, you are committed, you are consistent. I want to introduce you to the silent communication of love by gentlemen. I don't encourage us to be silent. We should also express, but gentlemen do express love in other ways, other than the word I love you.
Okay.
When they check on you consistently, particularly when it matters, when you left home and they want to know you arrived safe.
Yeah.
When they know you have a journey and they check that your car is okay.
Yes.
They do a safari check.
Yeah.
A small service ahead of a journey to replenish the perishables, the consumables. When he checks everything, checks you to make sure you are okay, even anticipating. This woman who talked to this guy and she mentioned something, a game she likes attending. The games were coming in a few months and he bought the tickets and took her there. And she only mentioned once in conversations what she loves or should have wished to. In passing, that's a language of I love you. that part that he takes up the stressor, that would have some things for women they're naturally stressful, and for him they're naturally enjoyable.
Yes.
When he does those things that make your life more restful in that masculine rough world, or to ease your hands so that you can rest a little bit, kick back a little bit, and you feel the softness because you are shielded. And without him, you really have to fight the world, to face the world. When he's there, you can kick back.
Yeah.
He can handle things. He can go out and earn the money when it's raining, when the weather is bad. The man is out, he's already left. Sometimes you can see the language of consistency in this man, try to make sure you don't have to worry.
Yeah.
You can sleep in while he steps out.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes.
He doesn't try to empty you of every coin. He allows you the queen allowance. The queen allowance is those little monies that maybe you made it by yourself or he gave it to you, but he does not strip you of it.
Yeah.
Because he knows you need a few things here and there.
For yourself.
For yourself. To just feel queenly. You know, a queen can't be broke. That's a contradiction.
Yes.
She needs some abundance.
Yes.
Men can communicate love by making sure you always have some float. You always sorted out. Learn to acknowledge that too, and actually notice it when you can. And when you can respond in kind by exchanging a gesture. Lasting couples are people always trying to compete in meeting each other's need, compete in trying to fulfill each other's need in a way that is anticipatory or timely or less pressured or less pushed, trying to do better for you, do better for you, do something for you. Yeah. When they are competing that way, that union is guaranteed. That union is guaranteed.
Okay.
But when it is taking, you have not done this for me, done this for me, done this for me, giving, taking, there's crisis, there'll be conflict and depletion. Just to tell you that a woman of peace is one who has, by and large, reconciled with her past, by and large, reconciled with her image, by and large, accepted her form of beauty. Because what the world praises is very contradictory. The world does not describe the same form of beauty.
Yeah.
Africa, we have another image. India, they have another image. The US, they have another image.
Yes.
But because the public space is full of all those, a woman who is still comparing herself with the other person,
yes,
thinking she needs to change this and the other one, makes herself very burdensome. You need a woman of peace. Now, how does this make the man stay? Because he can come home and rest. He doesn't come to deal with, there's some women, if they have not accepted themselves, and the more time goes, the more crisis, the more problems, anxiety, insecurities are coming up.
Yes.
And when the man comes back, he has to deal with insecurities. You want a woman who is happy in herself. A woman who can make a happy meal and lift her moods. A woman who can play music and lift her moods. Play with her child, lift her moods. Wear a certain dress, lift her moods. I never knew women can wear for their moods. I used to think they only dress when they go out. Sometimes a woman is dressing and she's going nowhere.
True.
Just to feel good.
Yeah.
That's a woman who has found her sweet spots.
Yes.
Has found her peace. Yeah. She just do some things, call a certain girl, they talk there, banter there, and do something she loves, watch something. You want a woman who has learned, sometimes just a lot of cleanup to feel that she cleans up her place, changes curtains to feel good. That woman who has found a way to make herself happy. How pleasant it is. Because then she doesn't need crutch, too much support. Because of that, he and the woman now can talk better things, can discuss life. There's some couples who can't progress because the energy goes to firefighting, to reassuring. All the energy goes to managing.
Yes, solving issues.
Instabilities,
yes.
And man comes from work to go to another work at home, from war to go to another war. You want to be that woman of peace. And the man will say, when we ask him, what is it about that woman that makes her so special? Yeah. While you're waiting for him to mention those things the world praises, he says, yeah, she's a beautiful woman. I love her beauty very much. But there's something else more than that.
Yes.
That woman is peaceful. That woman has found her center.
Exactly.
And she adds stability to my life, not instability.
Yes.
And because she's peaceful, she can notice when I need support. She can notice what I need. And I can notice what she needs because she's consistent and there's pattern to her life. Not complete fluctuations and inconsistencies. When a woman has not matured, you cannot predict tomorrow. When a woman has matured, yes, there are seasons of life, but there's steadiness. You can tell the meals she likes. You can tell the things she likes. You can tell the language she loves. You can tell the treats she likes. You can tell the schedules she works with.
Yes.
How she likes her things done. You can, with time, it's very comforting for a man to know how to handle his woman. So when you're a woman of peace, you're that kind of woman who has found your center and he can coexist with you, knowing you're peaceful. Yes.
Wow. And we've talked about the character of a woman that really impresses the man. Now, what about beauty, the outward beauty? Because we've really talked about the inward beauty,
Yes.
the beauty that a woman carries, the vibe she carries. Now, the outward beauty, does it really, really matter to a man?
Let's use the word glow instead
Yes.
of beauty.
Yes.
The woman needs to have her glow. And in another show, we shall expound that. There's nothing as a piece of ass when a man has to keep reminding himself that my wife is beautiful because she doesn't remind him. When you cover the beauty,
Yes.
and you must remember it is underneath. It is somewhere.
It's inside. Yes.
I've noticed many women don't dress for their husbands. They get used to him.
Yeah.
So when she's going out with him, she's in Crocs and an oversize. She's in tracksuit.
Yeah.
You get too familiar. When you used to go on dates before marriage, you used to step up.
Yeah, being your best.
Now, because, you know, he knows my personality, we just doing like, I did not have time to dress up. You know, we are so busy, I did to sneak out. He understands.
Yes.
A gentleman understands, but his biology doesn't. His visual stimulation
Yes.
doesn't. And even if he does not intend to cheat, you can dry up your glow that he notices. Do you remember the other women he is meeting are always glowing up?
Yes.
All the other women he's meeting.
Because they're stepping out.
Yes.
Yes.
You, because you're always in with him, in with him, in with him.
Yes.
Even the time you're stepping out with him, you don't step out of your...
Because it's him. Anyway.
You know. Some women forget completely to dress for us, while other women are always dressing
Yeah.
for us.
you.
So, as much as you're not trying to compare,
Yeah.
there's no effort. So, I think it is a big compliment when a woman has dressed. Look at yourself. Today, I like the way you put up yourself. You're always putting yourself, but I like
you.
the details. If now you're going out with your man, he likes to see, you know, there's something like a flower in a woman
Yeah.
that just glows when it's turned on.
Yes.
You know,
True.
Flowers can close in and open. So I think also that glowing up is like opening the flower.
Yeah.
The beauty.
Yes.
The man feels in good company.
Yeah.
They call makeup wearing a makeup. Because it's something like you wear just a wear.
Yes.
Some women never wear anything. They don't wear the clothes, they don't wear the makeup, they don't wear anything, they don't put on the jewelry and all that. Just to say, the beauty he loves, you should also be turning it on. Turn the light on from time to time. It's not pressure to tell you must always be dressed up.
Yeah.
Sometimes we are just doing life. Even him is not dressed up. But those moments when it's just you and him, a date, whatever.
Glow.
Glow, please.
Yes.
Make it your... And glowing does not mean delaying him until you're taking 1 hour, he's waiting in the car. It's very frustrating.
Yeah.
It means it's not substituting it with poor time management. No.
Yeah.
Just find things that you can do with all the duties you have and you still glow.
Yes.
Yes.
Actually, when you get used to it, it takes a very little time to get ready and do some bit of makeup here and there. Now, let's finish with this because time is really gone.
Yes.
People who are dating or in a relationship and they're in a long-distance relationship, how do they keep the spark alive? Because probably this man is not getting to see this woman in real life.
I think for the time you're separated, as much as you're keeping it as short as possible, the world is not your friend. And if you agree for jobs to separate you, your marriage will not survive. Remember that.
Yeah.
The world does not care about your love life.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Remember that.
Yes.
Even your government that is employing married people doesn't care.
It doesn't.
Remember that.
Yes.
Previously, there's a time they would consider married people and try to keep them close.
Yeah.
Over time, we forgot about it. People became mischievous. I think many people didn't want the sincerity of being close with the partners. I don't know.
Yeah.
And they stopped pushing for it. You know, it's unions that push for it. It's the workers' union.
Yeah.
This thing is pushed for by it's us. But we stopped.
Yes.
We don't push for it.
Actually, the union is the people.
Yes.
Yes.
In the collective bargaining agreements that we are making,
yes,
and in what we ask for, you know, in our associations, that stopped being an agenda.
It stopped.
So you and your partner cannot be careless with the distance. You better switch the jobs, switch the roles, be strategic, think together, make sure the distance is short. Because even if you use the strategy, because you're supposed to use the strategies of video calls, photos, regular meetings, and just knowing when we are meeting next and dreaming together, sharing things that are shareable. Imagine when you call and both of your child and your wife are on the phone, your husband and the children while you are away, you see them there, there's those moments, you feel like you're connected. So there's video calls, there's photographs, of course, and then there's more frequent phone calls. Because you're not going home physically. Normally when you're going home physically, phone calls are just in between. Now you're not going physically. So you call more, and you update each other more. If it's different time zones, you're going to have to do some sacrifices. Somebody may wake up 1 a.m. or earlier to just talk to people, just to tell you, you compensate the technology, but keep the time of separation short and let it be known to both of us, when is this ending? When it is not ending, we get tired. Yes.
Wow, that's quite important, because I know several couples that have been separated by distance. One in Kenya, the other one is in US.
Yes.
And the relationship was all good, thriving, and then with time, it drifted and drifted, and they separated silently.
Yes.
Yes.
Distance kills.
Yeah.
Distance alone does kill. You don't kill the distance, it will kill what you have.
If you don't kill the distance, it will kill what you have.
Yes.
I like that. That's really interesting. Thank you so much for really enlightening as always. To get Benjamin Zulu's books, you can go to www.benjaminzuluglobal.com and get a package that really suits you. He has self-development books. We have dating package. We have healing books and pre-25 packages. Now, these pre-25 books, if you are below 25, you cannot afford to miss books written by Benjamin Zulu. We have one that is called The Young Visionary, a book that is really, really amazing for you, because you cannot afford to live a life that is not fulfilling. Thank you so much for being part of this conversation. Bye-bye.
There are conversations that shape how we live. Conversations that help us navigate challenges of life. Conversations that bring out the best in us. This is where we gather to help each other find the way and unleash our potential. Welcome to the Benjamin